The night was too beautiful to end in blood. Jeju Island glowed under a quiet moon. The waves soft and slow, as if the ocean itself was trying not to disturb their anniversary dinner. Private cliffside table. Candles trapped in glass domes. A world-class chef preparing fresh seafood just a few steps away. Everything was calm, expensive, intimate, and JL was laughing. The kind of loud, warm laugh that made her husband stare at her like she was the only woman his heart had ever loved. She looked like a baddie in her tight black dress, hair slick and long, eyes shimmering in gold makeup. A UK-born black queen who walked like she owned any room she entered. Jaehyun watched her and smiled softly. His rare smile, the one that made him look far younger than 60. He was dressed in an all-black designer suit, rings glinting under the lights, silver hair slicked back in a style too cool for any man his age. Fashionista bad boy, the richest mafia lord in Korea. A man who controlled empires but melted when JL touched him. He lifted his wine glass. "To my wife," he said. "The best thing that ever happened to my foolish life." JL grinned. "Foolish? Please, you're too handsome to be foolish." He smirked. "Flattery won't get you a bigger anniversary gift." "Who said I want a gift? I want your soul." "You already have it." They laughed. Then everything changed. A soft sound snapped through the night. Not loud, not dramatic, just a sharp, muted pop. JL's smile faded. "Did you hear?" Jaehyun flinched. At first she thought he dropped his chopsticks. Then she saw the bloom of red spreading across his white shirt. "No," she whispered. 2 seconds later, his body swayed and collapsed forward, landing heavily against her chest. "Jaehyun!" The scream tore through her throat so violently it hurt. Her hands flew to his chest, shaking uncontrollably. The blood was warm, sticky, spreading too fast. His lips parted as he gasped for breath, eyes clouded with pain. "Baby, stay with me. Baby, look at me." He blinked slowly, pupils unfocused, then reached a trembling hand to her cheek. JL, he whispered. She leaned closer. "I'm here. I'm right here. Baby, hold on." His lips moved again, struggling. "Yuna." Her heart stopped. "Who is Yuna?" she demanded, voice already breaking. But he didn't answer. His eyes rolled back, and his head dropped to the side. No, Jaehyun. Don't you dare." She pressed her hands onto the wound, her dress soaking in blood as her tears fell uncontrollably. She screamed toward the guard stationed inside the glass doors. "Sniper! Call security! Help him!" In seconds, black-suited men swarmed the area, forming a shield around them. Guns out, voices frantic. "Madam, get down. I'm not moving. Help him." One guard knelt beside her. "Madam, he's losing consciousness." "He's not losing anything," JL shouted through tears. "Grab the tablecloth. Press here." Her voice was shaking, fierce, commanding. She wasn't just a wife. She was a hurricane. Even as her hands trembled violently, she held the wound firm. "Baby, look at me," she whispered, her voice shattering. "You promised to grow old with me. You're still young. They haven't even made retirement clothes your size yet. Don't leave me." His eyelids fluttered weakly. "Still funny? Shut up and stay alive." He gave the faintest smile because even dying, this man still had the audacity to flirt. Flashback. 3 years earlier, JL had arrived in Seoul for a solo vacation. London had drained her. She wanted peace, food, soft life, and pictures for Instagram. She didn't expect a mafia lord. The first time she saw Jaehyun, she was sitting at Gangnam Square eating tteokbokki, dressed in a crop top, ripped jeans, and gold hoops larger than the Korean economy at the time. He walked past wearing a suit crafted by the hands of angels and demons combined. His silver hair was slicked back, his steps slow and elegant, his aura dangerous in a silent way. People parted for him like he was Moses. She stared. He stared back, but his stare felt personal. Too personal. "Is something on my face?" she asked boldly. "Yes," he said without blinking. "Perfection." She choked on her tteokbokki. "Sir, please. I'm trying to eat." He smirked. "Then eat with confidence. You're too beautiful to look nervous." JL raised an eyebrow. Aren't you too old to flirt? 60 is the new 40. You're delusional. He laughed. A low, rich sound that surprised even him. They bumped into each other again the next day, this time literally. JL spilled iced coffee on him. She panicked. Oh my God, I'm so sore. He caught her wrist gently. You again. You again too, she snapped. He chuckled. Maybe fate is forcing you to notice me. JL rolled her eyes. Fate can calm down. But the truth? She noticed him, deeply. His confidence. His softness around her. His elegant danger. Later that night, she Googled him and nearly dropped her phone. On Jaehyun, the richest mafia lord in Korea. Never married. No children. Feared by everyone. Her heart raced with equal parts fear and attraction. Yet when he asked her out, she said yes. They dated secretly for 6 months. Private dinners. Luxury trips. Soft conversations. Deep laughs. Playful banter. He treated her like the world belonged to her. She treated him like he was just a man. Not a king, not a mafia lord, just Jaehyun. And he fell for her deeply. One night on Namsan Tower, he held her hand and said, I've lived many years without love. If I ever marry, I want it to be you. JL nearly fainted. Sir, are you okay? Blink twice if this is a prank. He kissed her forehead. It's not a prank. She said yes. When the public found out, chaos erupted. Hate comments. TV debates, paparazzi madness, people calling her a gold digger, people calling him a fool. But he stood by her, and she stood by him. The armored car sped toward the private hospital. JL held Jaehyun's head in her lap, pressing his wound with both hands. Baby, don't close your eyes, she begged. You owe me a Maldives trip, a yacht photo shoot and matching Gucci pajamas. You can't die before that. His eyes fluttered. You'd look good. In pajamas. Shut up and breath. He chuckled weakly before coughing blood. She panicked. Drive faster. I don't care about speed limits. Yes, madam. Her tears fell onto his face as she cradled him close. Jaehyun, baby, I didn't come all the way from London to become a widow at 30. Don't do this to me. He slowly lifted a finger and touched her lips. You're mine, he whispered. Always. Then his hand dropped. Jaehyun, the heart monitor attached to his wrist beeped urgently. Madam, the guard said softly. He's slipping. No, Jael growled, her voice turning sharp and deadly. He's not slipping anywhere. He's staying alive. The car skidded into the hospital parking. Doctors waited already prepped. Jael held him as they lifted him onto a stretcher. Baby, wake up, she whispered. Who shot you? And who is Yuna? A doctor grabbed her arms gently. Ma'am, let us work. She fought to stay with him, but the guards held her back. They pushed him into the emergency room. The doors slammed shut. Jael stood frozen, covered in blood, shaking, breath shallow. She didn't know yet that the name Yuna wasn't a woman. It was a secret Jaehyun had kept hidden for decades. And now that secret was coming for both of them. The city of Seoul buzzed like a giant beast dressed in lights and glitter. Neon signs flickered, streets shimmered with expensive cars, and the media vultures were circling before anyone even knew it was happening. But Jael didn't care about the chaos. She only cared about him, on Jaehyun, the most feared and richest mafia lord in Korea, dressed like a rock star designer who had stepped out of a Paris runway. And tonight he was hers. Jael stepped out of the black Rolls-Royce, heels clicking like a gunshot across the polished stone. Her dress, a sleek pink gown with a thigh-high slit, sequins glinting like stars, caused every head in the street to turn. She adjusted her hair, smirked at the flashing cameras, and whispered to her reflection in the tinted car window. Not today, Seoul. Today, I am the queen. Behind her, Jaehyun's hand found hers. He didn't speak, but the subtle squeeze said more than words could ever capture. His tailored suit clung perfectly to his broad shoulders. The silver watch glinted, not because of the sun, but because he knew it would make her look twice. He leaned down. Beautiful, he murmured. You're late, she teased, arching an eyebrow. I like to make an entrance, he replied, voice deep and smooth, playful but commanding. The photographers snapped ferociously. Flash after flash. Jael laughed. I hope they don't explode from all this beauty. Jaehyun chuckled, kissing her temple. Let them. Let the city burn with envy. The wedding took place in a private palace on the outskirts of Seoul. Black marble, gold accents, crystal chandeliers, and enough guards to intimidate an army. Guests arrived. Billionaires, celebrities, dangerous men wearing suits that hid guns, women dripping in diamonds. The tension was thick. Everyone whispered, "Did you see her? She's British, isn't she? He's 60 and marrying her? That young girl." Jael ignored them all. She had an ego sharp enough to cut steel. Jaehyun whispered in her ear as they walked toward the altar. They're all talking. Let them. None of them matter. Only you. She smirked. You always know what to say, don't you? I know what to do. The aisle was a river of pink petals. Jael's heels clicked on the marble floor. Her eyes scanned the crowd. Envy, admiration, disbelief, all painted across the rich faces around them. Jaehyun waited at the end, hand extended, the perfect combination of Mafia power and stylish elegance. He caught her gaze. No words needed. He wanted her. Everyone else could burn in judgment. They reached each other. I never thought I'd see you here, Jael said, teasingly, brushing a strand of hair from his face. You're impossible, he murmured. And I adore that. The officiant began speaking, but Jael barely heard. All she could see was him. Every detail, the curve of his jaw, the soft silver hair, the dangerous power radiating from his posture. She wanted to memorize him forever. He whispered, just loud enough for her. You look deadly tonight. And you look like trouble, she replied. Jaehyun's voice, when he spoke his vows, was deep, deliberate, commanding. Jael, I have lived my years in a world of power, fear, and secrets. I have seen betrayal, danger, and death. But you made me feel alive. You made me laugh. You made me soft in ways I did not know I could. I vow to protect you, love you, and cherish you, even when the world wants to take you away from me. You are my weakness, my strength, my queen. Jael's heart thundered. She wanted to laugh, cry, scream, and kiss him all at once. She smiled and spoke her vows with fire. Jaehyun, you are dangerous, mysterious, and infuriating. You are older, wiser, and somehow unbelievably mine. I promise to annoy you, to love you, and to make sure you never forget that even a bad boy mafia lord can be tamed by me. A grin spread across his face. The officiant nodded. Then by the power vested in me. And they kissed. The cameras exploded. The world gasped. And Jael laughed, feeling like she was floating above every judgment, every whisper, every flash of light. The after-party was legendary. Private yachts waiting outside. Champagne flowing like rivers. Music pulsing through the night, from classical strings to electronic beats. Jael danced like no one could touch her, as Jaehyun held her close, spinning her across the dance floor. You're crazy, he whispered. And you love it, she teased. He smirked. Yes, I do. Laughter, whispered jokes, and stolen kisses filled the night. She teased him about his fashion choices. He mocked her obsession with shoes. Their banter made everyone around them stop and stare. Even the most ruthless mafia captains couldn't ignore their chemistry. But nothing was perfect. A man in black watched from the corner. A shadow with sharp eyes. Someone inside Jaehyun's organization. Someone who didn't like her. Jael caught a glimpse of him. Do you see that guy? She whispered. Who? Jaehyun's hand tightened around her waist. The tall one. Black suit. Looks like he wants to eat me for breakfast. Jaehyun's expression hardened. The playful smile vanished. Don't move, he murmured. Not tonight. She raised an eyebrow. You always get serious when someone looks at me the wrong way. I do, he said softly. Because you're mine. Her heart skipped. Just as Jael was about to toast the guests with champagne, a photographer tried to push his way through. I need a photo, he said. Jael snapped. Back. Or I'll make sure you're viral for the wrong reason. Jaehyun laughed softly, brushing a strand of hair from her face. Exactly my wife, he whispered. Fearless, fiery, Irresistible. She smirked, leaning into him. Careful, bad boy. You might fall for me even harder tonight. He captured her lips with a slow kiss, one that made the room melt away. And at that moment, everyone else in Seoul, the gossiping billionaires, the paparazzi, the jealous women didn't matter, because JL and Jaehyun were unstoppable. As the night ended and the first stars appeared above Seoul, Jaehyun held her hand tightly. You're mine, he said again. And you're mine, she replied, smirking. And don't you forget it. But even as they laughed and teased, a cold thought crept into Jaehyun's mind. Someone in his organization had eyes on JL. Someone knew she was his weakness. And tonight, she was walking into a world of luxury, love, and laughter that could explode at any second. The world was theirs, or at least, that's how JL felt as she stepped onto the private jet. The sky was painted in shades of crimson and gold, the clouds like cotton candy floating beneath them. Jaehyun was already seated, effortlessly reclining like a man who owned every inch of the world, looking impossibly handsome even in casual designer wear. A crisp white shirt, black trousers, and sunglasses that made him look both untouchable and irresistible. Finally, JL said, dropping her bag beside her and plopping onto the seat across from him. I thought you'd never pick me up for our honeymoon. Did you forget who I am? He raised an eyebrow, smirk tugging at the corner of his lips. Impossible. How could I forget the only woman who insults me while looking this beautiful? JL rolled her eyes but laughed. Flattery won't get you first-class champagne. He leaned forward, his hands bracing the sides of her chair. Try me. The jet landed in Dubai, the city glowing like a treasure chest at night. Jaehyun had rented an entire private hotel floor, complete with gold-trimmed chandeliers, infinity pools, and balconies overlooking the skyline. JL could barely contain herself. Did you buy the entire hotel for us? She asked, eyes wide. He chuckled, taking her hand. No, just the rooms we're sleeping in. Sleeping in? She teased. I thought we were going to party in silk and diamonds until dawn. He smirked, brushing a strand of hair from her face. After you fall asleep in my arms, anything is possible. Their first night was a blur of luxury. Private yacht rides on the Dubai marina, swimming under the moon, champagne in hand, laughter echoing over the water. Why do you make luxury feel so fun? JL asked during one quiet moment, curled against him on the yacht. Because, he said, holding her chin, you make it feel like home, not just a hotel, not just a city home. Her heart fluttered, and she couldn't help but tease. You act like a love-struck teenager. He laughed softly, brushing his lips against hers. Maybe love makes me young again. Next, they flew to Paris. Private shopping trips, reserved rooms in Michelin-star restaurants, and a penthouse suite with a view of the Eiffel Tower. JL had never experienced anything like it. She texted her friends back home. I'm basically living in a dream with my Mafia bad boy. And yes, it's everything you imagined and more. The city of romance matched the intensity of their love. Jaehyun walked her through narrow streets, arms around her waist, whispering little jokes to make her laugh. Stop laughing at me, JL said as he nudged her. Stop being adorable, he shot back, his eyes sparkling with mischief. The nights were their favorite. Private dinners under the stars. A blindfolded tasting adventure at a secret wine cellar. And the way he looked at her, JL often wondered if he knew just how much power he had over her heart. After Paris, they returned to Jeju Island. But this time, it was their secret escape. A villa perched on a cliff, black sand beaches just beyond the garden. Infinity pools that reflected the sunset like molten gold. Why are you staring at me like that? JL asked as he ran his fingers through her hair while they lounged in the sun. Because you're perfect, he said simply. Stop. You sound like a cheesy drama. I'm serious, he insisted. I could spend every day staring at you and still not get bored. JL laughed and pushed him lightly. Then I guess I'll take advantage of that. Jaehyun had a mischievous streak that came alive in private. He loved to challenge her. From racing jet skis to daring her to sneak into forbidden parts of the villa, the two of them laughed until they cried. Bet you can't swim to that rock and back before me, Jaehyun teased, pointing across the cove. You're on, JL replied, smirking. They dove into the water. She swam fast, muscles burning, adrenaline pumping. He caught up just as she reached the rock, grabbing her from behind and pulling her into the water. They surfaced laughing, water dripping, hearts racing. "Cheater!" she yelled, but she couldn't stop giggling. "I win because I love you," he said simply. The nights were even more intense. Luxury was fun, but their private moments were intoxicating. Jae-hyun would brush her hair back, whispering, "You're mine, only mine." And JL would tease, "You're obsessed with me, cute man." "Really," he said with a wink, "I have the right to be obsessed." She laughed, but when they kissed, it wasn't just playful. It was deep, consuming. Every touch, every whisper, every caress spoke of a love that was passionate, protective, and unapologetic. He never held back, but he also never rushed. Every move, every touch was deliberate, a declaration. She was the queen of his life, his heart, his empire. But even paradise had shadows. During a quiet dinner on a private balcony, JL noticed another man watching them from the beach below. Black suit, dark sunglasses, moving too deliberately to be a tourist. "Who's that?" she asked quietly. Jaehyun's expression stiffened. His hand found hers, squeezing it lightly. "Someone who shouldn't be here," he said, voice low and dangerous. JL smirked. "Should I be scared?" "You should never be scared," he said, brushing her cheek. But maybe aware. The hint of danger only made their love feel more thrilling. She realized she liked it. Him protecting her, teasing her, loving her fiercely while showing the world she was untouchable in his arms. As their journey continued, Maldives next, private islands, sun-soaked beaches, candlelit dinners. Their bond deepened. They weren't just lovers. They were partners, best friends, co-conspirators in a world that feared him and wanted to control her. And every day JL realized she didn't care about the age difference. She didn't care about the Mafia danger. She only cared about him. He loved her fully. The city of Seoul was alive with lights, music, and whispers. But JL felt the chill before anyone else. Something was off. It wasn't the paparazzi snapping photos of her and Jaehyun strolling through Cheonggyecheon. It wasn't the luxury cars honking their approval. It was the feeling that someone somewhere was watching. JL had insisted on going out without security for once. They walked hand in hand, Jaehyun dressed in a crisp black leather jacket, jeans, and boots. His style impeccable, his aura untouchable. JL, in a red bodycon dress and strappy heels, matched him perfectly, every head turning as they passed. "This is insane," JL whispered, glancing around. "Every time we step out, the city stops." "Good," he replied, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "They need to see who belongs together." JL smirked, teasing him. "Mafia lord and British baddie. That's your brand now." "Exactly," he said with a grin. "And I plan to make it unforgettable." As they entered a quiet cafe tucked away in a narrow alley, JL noticed a man sitting near the window, too still, too alert. Dark suit, sunglasses, eyes tracking their every movement. She nudged Jaehyun. "Today too." He followed her gaze and stiffened slightly. "Relax baby, I'm in charge." JL tilted her head, eyebrows raised. "Should I flirt to distract him? Or are we going full spy mode?" He chuckled softly. "Do both." She laughed quietly, but her pulse quickened. They sat in the corner, sipping espresso. JL leaned close, resting her head against his shoulder. "I like this. Just us, away from the chaos." Jaehyun kissed the top of her head. "You make even danger feel like comfort." She grinned. "You're ridiculous." He smirked. "Maybe, but you love it." Before she could reply, the man at the window rose subtly, slipping a small device into his pocket and walking toward the exit. Jaehyun's hand tightened around hers. "Time to go," he whispered. JL nodded, curiosity mixed with thrill. "Already? I was enjoying my espresso. You know, life is short." "I know," he replied, leading her out. "Which is why we don't waste time when someone's watching you." Outside, a black motorcycle roared behind them. The man from the cafe stepped into the street, blocking their way. Jaehyun didn't hesitate. With a swift motion, he shielded JL behind him, his hand pressing hers to a hidden button on his jacket. Security arrived instantly from nowhere, like ghosts in the night. The man froze, realizing he was outmatched. "Who sent you?" Jaehyun demanded, voice low, dangerous. The man smirked. "Orders from someone you don't want to know." Jaehyun's grip on JL's hand tightened. "You will tell me. Now." The man glanced at her and shivered. There was something about JL that made even trained killers hesitate. She's untouchable, or deadly. Both. JL rolled her eyes. "I'll take that as a compliment." Jaehyun's smirk returned, though sharp. Not just a compliment, a warning. Later, in the privacy of their penthouse, JL dropped onto the couch, exhausted and exhilarated. "You're insane," she said, laughing, leaning back into him. He wrapped his arm around her. "And you love it." "I do," she admitted, resting her head on his chest. "Even when I think I might die from adrenaline overload." He kissed her hair. "You make life worth the risk." She lifted her head, smirking. "Careful. Say too many cheesy things like that and I might start believing this is a romance movie." He chuckled. "Then I guess we'll have to live it like one." Their lips met, soft and slow, then deepened, filled with unspoken promises and fiery passion. In his arms, JL felt invincible, untouchable, and loved. The next morning, JL's phone buzzed with a message she didn't recognize. "We know where you are. Stop playing with fire, or everything you love will burn." She froze, heart hammering. The tone was calm but icy, filled with a threat that made her stomach twist. Jaehyun appeared beside her, reading over her shoulder. His jaw tightened. "Someone thinks they can scare you. Scare us." JL swallowed. "Do you care about my safety?" "Care? I'd destroy anyone who even looks at you the wrong way." His hand found hers, squeezing gently. "But first, we find out who's behind this." Jaehyun spent the day working quietly in his study, JL by his side, sipping wine. His laptop hummed with data, contacts, and hidden surveillance. "I don't like this," JL said, leaning over his shoulder. "Someone's playing a dangerous game, and they're about to learn what happens when you touch my queen," he said, voice low. She smiled at the nickname, heart swelling. "Queen," she murmured. "I like it." "You're more than that," he said. "You're untouchable. And if anyone tries to hurt you..." His eyes darkened. "They won't survive." JL shivered, partly from fear, partly from desire. There was something about Jaehyun's protective intensity that made her feel wild, safe, and alive all at once. That night, JL lay awake, Jaehyun asleep beside her, the city lights shimmering through the window. Her mind raced with possibilities. Who was the mysterious figure? Was this a test of their love? A warning from a rival? She shivered, not from fear, but from the thought that her life with Jaehyun wasn't just luxury and laughter. It was danger, passion, and a game she might have to play to survive. And she wasn't afraid, because she had him, and he had her. Together, they could survive anything. The day started like any other in their luxurious Seoul penthouse. Sunlight poured through the floor-to-ceiling windows, reflecting off the marble floors and the gold-trimmed furniture. JL sipped her morning espresso, her favorite oversized sunglasses perched on her nose, scrolling through messages. Jaehyun, already dressed impeccably in a black designer blazer and fitted pants, moved around the kitchen, making her breakfast with precision. The man could run an empire, but he also somehow found joy in frying eggs perfectly for her. "You know," JL teased, "most people hire chefs for breakfast. You do it for fun." He smirked, flipping an omelet. "I like seeing you smile before the world demands everything from you." JL laughed, shaking her head. "You're ridiculous." That evening, as they prepared for a private gala, JL noticed a familiar face among the sea of socialites and influencers. A young woman, elegant, too perfectly poised, and staring at JL like she wanted to rip her apart. JL whispered, "Do you see her?" Jaehyun followed her gaze and stiffened. His hand brushed hers, a silent anchor. "Yes, she shouldn't be here." JL arched an eyebrow. "Should I flirt with her to mess with her mind?" He smirked, but his eyes stayed cold. "No, this isn't about games. Keep close to me." The gala was dripping with wealth, power, and danger. Every conversation felt like a chess move. JL danced in the center of attention, effortlessly charming everyone, laughing with Jae-hyun at the subtle jokes he whispered. But she noticed small signs. A hand lingering too long on a waiter's phone. A brief glance between the mysterious woman and a man in the shadows. A whisper that made her blood run cold. Then it happened. A waiter approached JL with a glass of champagne. She took it politely, smiling. Then she tasted it. Something bitter, metallic. She coughed, eyes widening. Jae-hyun. He was instantly by her side, scanning the crowd like a hawk. "Stay with me," he growled. The mysterious woman smiled faintly from across the room, then disappeared into the crowd. JL's heart pounded. Was she? "Yes," Jae-hyun said, voice low and deadly. "She tried to poison you." Later, in the safety of their penthouse, JL sat on the edge of the couch, shaking slightly. "They tried to kill me," she whispered, staring at him, then realizing he was shaking too. Not from fear, but anger. "Not tried," he corrected. "They were close, too close, and they know everything about us now." JL swallowed hard. Who is it?" His expression darkened. "Someone I trusted. Someone in my inner circle. They betrayed me, and they think they can use you to get to me." Her blood ran cold. "Use me? Jae-hyun. What do I do?" "You?" he asked, cupping her face. "You survive, you fight, and you trust me to handle the rest." JL narrowed her eyes. "And if I want to fight with you?" He smirked faintly, brushing her hair back. "Then I'll let you. But be warned, I don't lose, and I never forgive betrayal." Despite the betrayal, the fire between them burned hotter. That night, Jae-hyun drew her close, holding her as if the world outside didn't exist. "You're my only weakness," he whispered, lips brushing hers. JL smiled, teasing. "So, what you're saying is, if someone touches me, they die?" He grinned. "Exactly. But first, you stay in my arms." Their kiss was long, passionate, full of longing and desire. He moved every inch of him into her as they both groaned. The following days were tense. Jae-hyun and JL worked together to identify the traitor. JL's wit and cleverness made her indispensable. She wasn't just a baddie who looked good in designer clothes. She had a sharp mind that could anticipate moves, uncover secrets, and even taunt enemies. One evening, while reviewing security footage, JL noticed something chilling. The young woman from the gala wasn't just watching. They were communicating with someone in Jaehyun's office via hidden signals. JL leaned back. "She's clever, but not clever enough." Jaehyun smiled faintly. "That's my queen. Always 2 steps ahead." JL smirked. "Don't make me start taking credit for your empire too." He chuckled. "You already own it in every way that matters." The first confrontation happened in the dead of night. A call came to Jaehyun. The mysterious woman wanted to meet. Alone. Jaehyun looked at JL. "You don't come this time. You stay safe. I handle it." JL tilted her head, smirked teasingly. "You sure? I can be persuasive." He shook his head. "Persuasive doesn't survive in a world like mine. You're my queen. I protect you first." JL reluctantly agreed, watching him leave with his signature calm, dangerous aura. She sat by the window, heart pounding, praying the man she loved would come back to her safely. Hours passed. Then the sound of the door opening. Jaehyun walked in, confident, lethal, and scathed. His gaze fell on her. "See," he said softly, "nothing touches my queen." JL ran to him, wrapping her arms around him. "You're alive. I swear. If anything happens to you." He kissed her forehead, smiling faintly. "I told you, I never lose, and I never let anyone touch what's mine." JL realized that life with Jaehyun wasn't just luxury, romance, and fun. It was danger, betrayal, and constant vigilance. But she also realized something else. They were unstoppable together. She had power, wit, and charm that even the most dangerous enemies couldn't ignore. Their love wasn't just passion, it was survival. As they held each other in the penthouse, the city lights shimmering below, JL whispered, "Let them try. We're untouchable together." Jaehyun smirked, brushing a strand of hair from her face. Yes, untouchable. Forever. The morning sunlight filtered through the floor-to-ceiling windows of Jaehyun's office, bouncing off the polished mahogany desk and the sleek glass shelves lined with awards, liquor, and rare artifacts. JL lounged on the sofa, legs crossed, scrolling through her phone. Oversized sunglasses perched on her nose, pretending she wasn't buzzing with curiosity. Jaehyun paced in front of the window, his hands clasped behind his back, jaw tight. His suit was immaculate, but his eyes betrayed a storm brewing inside. You're really frowning like the world just ended, JL teased, flicking her sunglasses down to stare at him. What happened? Did someone steal your limited edition sneakers? He stopped pacing, glancing at her with the barest smirk. Worse, he said, voice low. The woman from last night. She told me everything. JL nearly choked on her iced coffee. Everything? Spill it. Did she confess to being a secret fan club president or something? Funny, he muttered, moving toward the desk. She told me who's been sabotaging us, who sent her to poison you, and why. JL's eyes widened. He shot her a dark, protective look. I didn't know it was someone I trusted. Until now. JL leaned forward, grinning. Oh, drama alert. Let me guess. A jealous ex? A rival mafia boss? Or one of your many admirers? Jaehyun's lips twitched into a half-smile. Closer than you think. JL sat up straighter, narrowing her eyes. Closer? How close? Like, best friend level close. He nodded grimly. Exactly. Minjun. My oldest friend. JL nearly spat out her coffee. What? Your best friend? The one you share whiskey and bad jokes with? The one who, wait, he did all this. Jaehyun nodded, running a hand through his hair. Yes, every attack, every threat, every plan to harm you. It was him. JL blinked, then burst out laughing. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Your best friend tried to sabotage my life. Because, why? He's in love with you. Jaehyun froze. Yes. JL threw her head back, laughing so hard her sunglasses slid down her nose. You're telling me, of all people, he wants you, and he sees me as the problem. Oh my God. I should give him a medal for taste. Jaehyun's eyes darkened, though a faint grin tugged at his lips. I trusted him. I thought all the attacks were from rivals. I never suspected him. JL got up and sauntered over to him, one hand on her hip. So, let me get this straight. He nearly killed me, tried to ruin your life, and all because he has a crush on you? Wow. That's dedication. In the most messed up way possible. He exhaled, rubbing his temple. I'm calling him in. He's coming to the office. Today we confront him. I need to hear everything from his own mouth. JL raised an eyebrow, smirking. Oh, I cannot wait for this. Can I be there? I want to watch the best friend betrayal drama unfold live. Preferably with popcorn. Jaehyun gave her a pointed look. You're staying, yes? But don't interfere. Interfere? She scoffed. Honey, I am the drama. Minutes later, Minjun entered the office, looking uneasy but trying to keep his composure. He stopped at the threshold, taking in Jaehyun's cold, unreadable expression. Sit, Jaehyun said, voice calm but razor sharp. We need to talk. Minjun sat, shoulders stiff, eyes flicking to JL, who lounged on the sofa, arms crossed, a teasing smirk playing on her lips. Hello, JL said sweetly. I've been dying to meet you. The man who tried to sabotage my life. How's the conscience? Minjun's mouth opened, then closed. JL, she cut him off with a laugh. Nope, don't even try. You don't get to talk until you answer one question. Why? Why would you want him? Why not find some random hottie? Why my man? Jaehyun's stern gaze bore into Minjun. Answer. Now. Minjun swallowed, voice shaking. I've loved him. Always. Never admitted it. Not to anyone. And seeing you with him, it drove me insane. I thought if I stopped you, I could be with him. JL threw her head back and laughed. Incredulous. Are you serious? You literally tried to ruin my life because you had a crush? Wow. That's bold. I'll give you that. But also insane. Jaehyun's expression hardened. You endangered the woman I love. You betrayed every bit of trust one had in you over a crush. That's pathetic, Minjun. And it ends today. Minjun's lips trembled. I see that now. I never wanted to hurt her. I was selfish. Jael shook her head, grinning despite the tension. Selfish is an understatement. You tried to poison me, and you wonder why I'm laughing at you. Jaehyun leaned forward, voice low and lethal. You're no longer part of my life. Leave. Never contact me again. Do you understand? Minjun nodded, defeated, tears in his eyes. Yes, I understand. Jael clapped mockingly. Bravo. Standing ovation. You've officially been outclassed by a baddie who doesn't even carry a gun. Jaehyun smirked faintly, shaking his head. Jael. Shoo, she said, brushing past him to the window, leaning against the glass. I'm giving him a show. It's poetic justice. As Minjun left, Jaehyun turned to Jael, pulling her into his arms. I chose you, he whispered. Every time. Always you. Jael rested her head against his chest, eyes sparkling. And I choose you. Always. But seriously. Your best friend has terrible taste. He chuckled softly, pressing a kiss to her hair. I couldn't agree more. The city lights glittered below them, reflecting in Jael's eyes. She realized once again. In a world filled with danger, betrayal, and obsession, they were unshakable together. And now, she whispered, smirking up at him. Let's go somewhere private. I need to celebrate surviving your best friend's creepy crush. Jaehyun laughed, wrapping his arms around her. Lead the way. The morning sun bathed Jeju Island in golden light, waves glinting like diamonds against the black sand beaches. The villa Jaehyun had rented for the weekend overlooked the sea, its infinity pool shimmering in the warm sunlight. Jael stretched on the balcony, oversized sunglasses shielding her eyes, and let out a contented sigh. This is perfect, she murmured, spinning slowly in her silk robe, hair tousled by the gentle breeze. Jaehyun appeared behind her, his usual impeccable style replaced by casual linen pants and a crisp white shirt, sleeves rolled up. He wrapped his arms around her waist, resting his chin on her shoulder. You look happy, he murmured, voice low. I am, Jael said, leaning back against him. But don't think I'm letting you hog all the credit. I did all the hard work surviving your best friend's creepy obsession. He chuckled, nuzzling her neck. I'm aware, and I'm infinitely grateful. You make surviving my world almost too easy. Almost? She teased, laughing. Are you questioning my skills now? I'd never dare, he replied, brushing a strand of hair from her face. You're unstoppable. The day unfolded like a dream. They rode a private yacht along the coast, Jael's laughter mingling with the sea breeze. Jaehyun had insisted on piloting the small jet ski himself, racing her across the turquoise waves, their banter echoing over the water. You're cheating, Jael shouted, water splashing over his arm. I don't cheat, he replied, smirking. I just win. Not fair. You had a head start, she yelled, but the smile tugging at her lips betrayed her enjoyment. Afterward, they strolled through the vibrant local markets, sampling fresh fruit and street food, Jaehyun carrying a bag of snacks while Jael playfully shoved him in the shoulder. Even in his casual clothes, even in the simplest settings, he radiated confidence, power, and allure. His dangerous aura softened by the way he looked at her. You know, Jael said, leaning on his arm, as they walked, life with you is never boring. Poison attempts, betrayal, secret messages, and now, jet skis and mangoes. Honestly, you should write a manual. How to survive a Korean mafia romance without losing your mind. Jaehyun laughed, pulling her close. And you'd be the perfect co-author. That night, they dined at the villa's terrace, lanterns glowing softly, the sea stretching endlessly before them. Jaehyun poured them each a glass of wine, their hands brushing occasionally, sending sparks through Jael's body. You've been awfully quiet, he said, tilting her chin up. What's on your mind? Jael smiled faintly, fingers tracing patterns on the table. Just thinking. We survived betrayal, danger, and your best friend's ridiculous crush. And now here we are, alone. Perfect weekend. You, me, Honestly, I've never been this happy. He reached across the table, taking her hand in his. I've never been this complete, he admitted, eyes dark and serious. You make everything in my life better, safer, more alive. JL laughed softly, leaning forward. Alive? You mean surviving all my jokes and your dangerous lifestyle? Exactly that, he said, smirking. And somehow, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Their hands stayed intertwined as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in streaks of pink and gold. The world felt quiet, safe, and theirs. Later that night, as they lounged on the balcony, JL felt a strange flutter in her stomach. At first, she thought it was the wine. But then the feeling persisted, delicate yet undeniable. Jae-hyun, she said softly, hesitating. He turned to her, concern flickering across his handsome features. What is it? JL took a deep breath, pulling a small test from her bag. I think I'm pregnant. He blinked, stunned, eyes wide. Then a slow, radiant smile spread across his face. Pregnant? That's incredible, he whispered, pulling her into his arms. You mean, we're going to have a family? JL laughed, tears of joy brimming in her eyes. Yes, our little chaos squad. He kissed her deeply, passionately, as if sealing the news into the world. I promise to protect you, JL, and now we'll protect our family. Together. The rest of the weekend passed in a blur of love, laughter, and intimate moments. JL and Jae-hyun spent hours talking about the future, imagining adventures, trips, and the life they would build together. You know, JL teased one night, leaning against his chest. We survived everything and now I'm carrying your child. I think that makes me officially invincible. Jae-hyun laughed, brushing her hair back. Yes, invincible. And deadly when provoked. Exactly how I like my queen. JL giggled, pressing her hand to his chest. Just promise me. No more drama for a while. Let's enjoy life, love, and maybe a little trouble. But only the fun kind. He kissed her forehead, eyes soft with affection and pride. I promise. No unnecessary drama. Just us. Forever. The waves crashed gently against the shore below. The lanterns flickered, and the stars blinked awake in the night sky. JL rested her head against Jaehyun's chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart. For the first time, the world felt truly theirs. And in that moment, surrounded by love, luxury, and the promise of a new beginning, they were unstoppable.
Hello besties, in life those we call friends can betray us, out of jealousy or obsession. True strength lies in recognizing loyalty, protecting your heart, and choosing the people who genuinely value over those consumed by envy. Thank you so much for watching. Kindly like, subscribe and share.